All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Season 3 development blog has been posted by the iRacing dev team. We've a lot to cover in this. This is going to be really cool. This is a highlight. You know, we love doing the highlights around here. The link's in the description if you want to dive into all the details yourself. But I just pick out the best bits and let you know what really stuck out for me. I take me little notes, have me little read. Guys, grab a cup of tea and let's get to it. Greg opens it up by talking about the successful Indy 500, which congratulations to iRacing, was another amazing race. Here's a savage screenshot from the finish. This is after 200 laps of Indianapolis. That's about 2.5 hours to 3 hours worth of racing. This was the finish. Absolutely cracking stuff. Fair play to them. It was my first as well. I crashed on lap 152. Laps of focus, little kink, hit the wall. But yeah, anywho, congrats to these guys who looked like they had a savage race. So we got some new tracks coming in, first of all. We got the Bend, which is the Shell V-Power Motorsport track. Park. This features 7 configurations, including the full 7.77 kilometer GT circuit. This looks absolutely savage, and you can understand why there's so many different configurations. Look at this section at the back as well. Really cool stuff, and I can't wait to see what this is like. I think this is a highly anticipated track. Regarding track updates, there's been rescanned and remodeled tracks such as Iowa, Richmond, Sonoma, Gateway, Charlotte, and North Wilkesboro, and refreshed artwork rebuilds have been Coda, Daytona, Indy, Lime Rock, Phoenix, Texas, and more focused on the NASCAR calendar from what we can see here. Here's some of the refreshed foliage at Lime Rock Park. Looking pretty good. Foliage usually has a bit of an FPS hit, but fortunately we can choose. In regards to cars, there's a brand new car coming and series, which is the Ferrari 296 Challenge. If we look down here, it's going to be D level, which is very, very cool. The specs of the car are explained quite eloquently by Greg, I will say. We are thrilled to offer a visually stunning and thrilling to drive Ferrari 296 Challenge. The 296 Challenge is one of the fastest single-make series customer racing cars ever, weighing just almost 1,500 kilos. Ready to race with 700 horsepower and 870 kilograms of downforce at 250 kilometers an hour, nearly 3/4 that of a GT class car. GT3. This is a potent machine capable of outrunning GT3 cars while providing a unique and exciting GT racing experience. It says this is a genuinely unique car with close to 0 parts crossover between it and the GT3. Also, there's going to be some Gen 4 Cup car projects. There's the 2003 Chevrolet Monte Carlo and the 2003 Ford Taurus. And down here is an example, basically a screenshot of the track type selection in the iRacing paint kit as well for these cars. Also here we have the IndyCar iR18 with updated physics, tires, aero, visuals and sound, and the new steering wheel here, which is a work in progress. The cockpit's looking quite cool on this car, always has. I've spent quite a many laps in this car doing the Indy 500, so it was really awesome to drive. I'll definitely be giving this another go. There's the Gen 7 NASCAR Cup car with new tire model, aero and CFD based drafting behavior, and here we go, guys. A complete GT3 class revamp. New tires, aerodynamic splitter rules, realistic handling, old setups. You can toss them in the bin because they will be obsolete, apparently. Guys, by the way, guys, quick pause. If you're enjoying this content and would like to see more content like this in the future, consider subscribing, as I'd love to have you around to join the old fam. So let's get back to it and see what these GT3 updates are. So because there's quite a lot here, I'm going to break it down into what I've made into like a little list. So as far as the tire model, both wet and dry tires now use iRacing's latest generational tire model. This is similarly seen in the GTP class. They were developed using custom software and tooling that simulates tire behavior at faster than real-time speeds. The goals of this were more realistic thermal behavior, better post-slide grip recovery, greater tire resilience to brief overdriving or off-track excursions, and the temperature behavior of these tires. Now this is cool. Tires now leave the pits colder, closer to real-world conditions, i.e. sun-soaked tire temps not artificially preheated, and peak performance now comes around lap 4 to 5 instead of straight away, and heat management becomes strategic, especially in late fuel stints. Abuse them and you lose time, conserve them and you'll have late stint pace. Some construction changes have been vertical stiffness has been reduced, allowing more compliance over bumps and elevation changes. Lateral stiffness has been increased, improving responsiveness and feel during cornering loads. As far as setup tools and features, so bump rubbers have been added, now available on cars that didn't have them before. Adjustable static gap adds tuning flexibility to manage chassis compression under high loads, especially on more compliant tires. Ride height rules have been updated, but moving on into aerodynamics, there has been CFD-based modeling, so every car's aero package was rebuilt using computational fluid dynamics, a form of aero generation magic. Updated has been the ride height sensitivity, yaw behavior, how cars handle in slides or crosswind, roll response, and wing angle effects. The impacts of this is that each car now has its own unique aero sweet spot. No more copy and paste setups across the field. Side force is more nuanced, meaning oversteer, recovery, and car balance vary by the chassis, and downforce and drag optimized to match current real world spec. No BOP adjustments have been made for this season. And lastly, one of the cool parts about GT3 is the in-race behavior enhancements. So we have sliding and recovery. Spinning out or sliding won't ruin your stint anymore. Grip returns realistically, which is going to be pretty cool because most of us know it's been quite painful, you know, when you have some slides and your tires have spiked in temp and it can kind of wreck your race. So it's more nuanced, you know. Tire degradation now allows for different driving styles to shine. If you attack early, you'll pay later, conserve, and you might be the fastest towards the end. So expect multi-stint strategy depth, ideal for endurance races or leagues, or even might come into play in some of the shorter races. I'm very excited for this. And some other car updates have been that the rain tires for the Lotus 79 and Super Formula is out. Full tire rework for the F4. The BMW M4 GT4 has been updated to the Evo spec, the new type. You don't have to do anything for this. This is just going to update itself. The BMW M Hybrid V8 steering wheel has been updated, which is a cool picture here. And the hybrid system overhaul for the GTP has been postponed for the minute. Diving into graphics and rendering, there's VR quad view. So foveated rendering sounds quite complicated. We have this lovely little image here to clean it up for us. So in VR, you can set it so your peripheral vision isn't too detailed, but where you're actually looking right here is. So here's an example. Note the clarity difference between the center and the periphery. This will be configurable. So basically making it much more optimized. It's not too complicated. So it'll be supported for RTX 2000 plus NVIDIA GPUs. So in regards to rain, there's better rain visuals, better alignment with physics, possible spray updates, and a new rendering engine, which is GPU-driven, dynamic shadows, integrated dynamic track visuals are nearing internal showcase. So we have more to come there. In regards to AI and systems, adaptive AI improvements and support for hosted racing is here, and expanded 360 Hz and haptic support for racing wheels. And ongoing future development. Here we can see the new up and coming. I don't think we're going to be getting it now, but they spent a great deal of focus, and there's plenty to share here. They have different iterations and stuff, but having a look at some more updates from the new UI does look very interesting. Here we can see different versions of it. Personally, I'd love to see like options. Like I can choose opacity, I can choose this one, I can choose this one, but that might not be iRacing's flavor. Maybe they like just the one flavor. There's going to be career mode stuff. There's going to be a track and car roadmap. As far as what we know, it's going to be Mexico City, Miami, more city circuits, GT3, GT4, and GTP editions, and new open wheelers, which is very, very spicy. In general, those are the bits that stood out the most for me during this Devblog. If you want to check it out for yourself, the link is down in the description. But the biggest one for me has to be the GT3 stuff. So I can't wait to get out there and try it ASAP, see what it feels like. And guys, yeah, we have a lot to look forward to for season 3, so buckle up. I think it's going to be quite fun. Huge shout out to the iRacing dev team for their constant transparency and all, with just showcasing all this stuff, letting us know what's coming, what's not, what's held up, and why, which is really, really cool and expected for a subscription-based service, but it's nice to see they're constantly pushing to remain what I believe is to be one of the best motorsport simulators out there in the market at the moment. So guys, have fun, and I will see you in season 3 very, very soon.